Underway. Shift colors for all you sailors past, present, and maybe of the future. Hello again, everybody. I'm Greg, GK Porter, and this is the Sereno Pro Classic. This is a boys under 18 category where you will see the Scottsdale Blackhawks 91 team versus the Yavapai Valle. The Scottsdale Blackhawks are head coached by Ben Tobin. The manager is Jane Fallon. The keeper, and he'll be playing in the first half, will be Timothy Dufek. And the second half keeper will be Sean Sharman. Number 2 will be Tyler McClendon. Number 3 will be Daniel Miller. Number 4 is Mark Sikelski. Number 5 is Christopher Tilton. Number 6 is Brandon Cotty. Number 7 is Evan Armstrong. Number 10 is Kyle Tevis. And we're underway here in the Sereno Pro Classic. Number 12 is Graham Crawley. Number 13 is Patrick Larkin. 15 is Sean Fallon. 17 is Kyle Morgan. 19 is Brett Dinner. 21 is Joel Lustengarten. 22 is Casey Rice. And 27 is Christian Cox.
Nothing silly. Good lad. Come on, Sean, you're in. Shape.
And a throw in, and also want to mention Kaivan Maghimi. And the throw in. Good ball in deep back of the Valle. And running onto it is Christian Cox now. Valle with it. Valle trying to do something in the offensive zone, but it was taken away. And now on the run is Casey Rice. Rice was heading toward that attacking third. Could not do anything with it. And now Valle. But they are dispossessed, and now here are the Blackhawks now. Drawing it back from Tilton to his defenders in their own half. And now it is Lustengarten. Lustengarten with the red shoes. He's got his teammate now. And here's a through ball. And a run along the far side into the box. And a shot. And he just missed. That time Casey Rice was all set up. And an 18-yard box, but he couldn't finish that time. It was a nice run on the far side, the near side of your picture, for the Blackhawks 91 from Scottsdale, Arizona. And now it's going to be a Sean Fallon. Fallon in the 6-yard box, but they couldn't finish on it. The Blackhawks, and now they're trying to get another chance at it. And a save is made by the keeper for Yavapai Valle. And they drive it down the field. He drives it down the field and trying to get his midfielders and attackers to make a play. They cannot. Taken away. And now onto it is McClendon. McClendon on the near side. McClendon, a nice pass over to Casey Rice. And he tries to thread it back to McClendon. And that ball had too much pace on it. And it's going to be a throw-in for Yavapai Valle. So Valle is going to throw it in. And they're in their own deep third. And that ball is sent up toward the central. Blackhawks now have the touches now. On the far side, Cox is marking up. Christian Cox trying to get to it. He can't. And now chasing it down is Larkin. Larkin retrieves it and draws it all the way back to his keeper. And the keeper is Timothy Dufek. And Dufek drives it up to midfield. He's got McClendon. McClendon now makes a nice move. McClendon on the near side. trying to thread the needle there, couldn't, as that ball was intercepted and taken away into space. And now down to Central, trying to get to the attacking third. They can't quite do it as it's intercepted by the Blackhawks. Nice job, Tilton and company. And now to the wide side of your picture, there's Fallon, Sean Fallon. And a service toward the 18-yard box. Nobody there. Intercepted at the top of the box as Valle stiffens up around their 18-yard box and routes it out of play on the near side. A throw-in, though, now. Lustengarden getting it in. Lustengarden looking for his teammate McClendon. He makes a great move, gets around, accelerates to the box, and a service, and it is intercepted in the interior of the 6-yard box and driven out of play. Nice play by McClendon as he turned a corner, and he was looking for a teammate, a runner in the box, and nobody was there. And now they throw it in again. Valle intercepts it in their own box and pushes it out to the top of the attacking third. However, intercepted by the Blackhawks, and just a blast taken that time by Brett Dinner. And that ball goes past the 6-yard box, and a keeper for Yavapai will get it restarted. Driven almost up to midfield, but Tilton was up high with that one. And now over to Casey Rice. Rice on the far side of your picture, trying to make another move and a strike toward the central of the box, but wasn't able to do it as he was dispossessed by the defender for Yavapai. But now it is Morgan. Morgan on it. He gets it over to Lustengarden. Lustengarden down to Central. And a nice ball with beautiful pace on it, and a goal! Go, 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 go! Ah! Beautiful shot by Christian Cox. And a nice ball placed for him that time. Down to Central, Lustengarden, and it is 1-0. Cox knew what to do with it once he got a good ball in front of him. And he takes care of it for the Scottsdale Blackhawks 91. And they lead here in the Sereno Pro Classic in a boys under 18 category 1-0. And a throw in from the back.
Simple. Tyler's feet.
And ball down to Central. Now they have a runner. Almost 1v1 with the keeper. He was marked and taken away, but however, the Blackhawks still on it and try to turn around. Couldn't do it in the Central as they stiffen up the defenders for Yavapai. And there's now Tyler McClendon. And that ball goes out of play. 1-0 to score. Here in the Sereno Pro Classic, Scottsdale Blackhawks 91 team leading. And that one's knocked out by Lustengarden. Throw in for Yavapai on the near side. The Blackhawks with most of the touches in this game. However, they give it up there to the attacking area and attacking third, and that ball is intercepted. And toward the Central, Yavapai still on it. Yavapai Valle now trying to make a move. Down 1-0 in this soccer game. A challenge there. Trying to get it is Rice. Rice, and now to the far side, Christian Cox. He's marking up. Cox now on the far side. Trying to defend here. And he deflects the shot. And it rolls all the way to the Central. Number 16 for Yavapai. He's looking for an interior man. He only had it for a moment as it was taken away. And they still are on the soccer ball. And here's Yavapai Valle trying to continue with their offensive attack. And this is the time where they've had most of the possessions in the game so far. Because the Blackhawks have done a fine job of possessing that soccer ball and really getting good plays. But now Yavapai Valle, with their offensive attack, is thwarted here, and that ball is taken away. And Scottsdale Blackhawks 91 now have it
This side, boys. This
with Crawley, Graham Crawley, looking for a teammate in the midfield area, couldn't find one, and now they have it again. Blackhawks 91, and on the midfield area trying to get Tyler McClendon to make a move, and he couldn't do it as it was knocked errantly out of play at the near side touchline by Yavapai. But however, it's thrown in by the black and white, and they're trying to get in the 18-yard box, can't quite do it. And nice little pass over to Lustengarden. Lustengarden now trying to get it to his teammate, and he did not get it. As you see now, Yavapai Valle now, the near side pushing it up. They can't seem to possess it long enough. They had that sequence there about a few minutes ago where they really held on to that soccer ball, but they are not able to do that for very long. And the Blackhawks just doing a fine job of holding on to that soccer ball. And they have the 1-0 lead. Hawks and company trying to make something go on that far side, but they decide to switch it. The diagonal pass, working with it that time. Lustengarden and his pass intercepted. However, now Casey Rice on a challenge. He didn't get it. And now the central, as Rice watches it go past over to his teammates now. And trying to make a move down the central, but they stiffened up. And now they have a runner. Is he onside? That's the key. He is, and a save made that time. And another save is made. Beautiful play by Timothy Dufek. Dufek goes high in the air to rob the attacker for Yavapai Valle and tried to tie up the score. That's the best play they had in the entire game. And now here they are again as they get a service in towards the box, but nicely done that time by Christian Cox to get it out of play. Cox is there in the area. Cox now chasing it down. Cox trying to get after it, but it is knocked out, and he does a fine job of making the attacker kick it out of play. 1-0 his team leads. He gets it into Tilton. And Tilton trying to return pass, and it goes now over to Crawley. Crawley. And that ball pushed toward the 18-yard box. Trying to chase after it that time was McClendon, and he couldn't get to it. But on the near side, they got a service into the box. Do they have a runner on the back post? Nobody there for them to really do some damage. And so here is Christian Cox. Cox now with it. Cox pushes it up back to midfield. And they want to start it down to central. And here they come. Down to central, the Blackhawks. And that's Crawley. Crawley trying to make moves. He's looking for his teammate on the outside. And he just couldn't quite thread it to him. And that's Sean Fallon. Sean is mother, I believe, Jane Fallon, doing the managing duties for this Scottsdale Blackhawks 91 team. Down to central now. Yavapai Valle trying to do something with it, and they couldn't do it as it was taken away. So now the Blackhawks of Scottsdale pushing that ball on the near side. Tyler McClendon. McClendon having a hard time there, and a call. And that call is going to go against McClendon. It'll be a free kick. 1-0. Scottsdale Blackhawks 91 lead here in the Sereno Pro Classic in a boys under 18 category. And a near side, you have Lustengarden. Lustengarden, nice move. Lustengarden at midfield. Lustengarden tried to get a runner down to central. He couldn't quite do that as that ball had too much pace on it. Back for Yavapai Valle. Oh, beautiful heel pass. He's got a teammate there. He gets around. He's all alone. Oh, they come into the 18-yard box to rob him at the last moment. Beautiful defensive play back there by the defenders to get to that striker, because it was an excellent heel pass, and his teammate for Yavapai Valle, almost a striker, almost had an ability to take a great shot. However, here they are again. They're still keeping the pressure on. And as I've said in this game, they have, Yavapai Valle, have seemed to control the ball at moments and do well and get some good coordinated passing and structure in their attack. But then other times they just can't hold on to the ball long enough, and they give it away to the Blackhawks, and the Blackhawks seem to be much more aggressive, much more ambitious towards trying to get a goal in the net. They've already got one, and they could very well get more. As that ball is pushed down the central by Christian Cox, intercepted, and now on it is Dinner, and Dinner back out to Cox. Cox now going to push it up. He's looking for his teammate Fallon. It never got to him. Intercepted by Valle, and now it's knocked out by the deep back of the Blackhawks. 1-0 your score in this evening game here in the Sereno Pro Classic. Hope you're enjoying all the action. I'm Greg G.K. Porter. Happy to be with you. Now a throw in from the deep third. And the Blackhawks now want to try to possess it. And a whiff that time to give it away to Valle. And they push it to the outside. They've got a striker. And he just can't get it inside that near post, although he tried. And so now it'll be a goal kick. 1-0 your score. Off of McClendon. McClendon couldn't do anything with it. Valle with it. Yavapai Valle, number 4, trying to possess it. He gets it over his teammate as they were able to get it around to Rice. And now down to Central. And they work it with a switch to the outside. And now they take a shot in the box, looking for a runner, and he strikes it, but he couldn't control it. And Valle, Yavapai Valle, don't end up with a good quality chance on that one. They seem to want to go down that right side and attack the left side of the defense for the Scottsdale Blackhawks. You saw Mark Sikelski come into the contest, and he's the substitution now. And here Sikelski off of a challenge. Doesn't get to it, but Valle has it, and Sikelski will chase down. The ball in the central now for Yavapai Valle. In the center circle, a left-footed strike is intercepted. Nicely done that time by Lustengarden. And now it retreating back is Yavapai Valle for their own defensive third. And now here is Sikelski. Sikelski on the near side, but the ball had way too much pace on it. Ran out of real estate on the near side. A throw in. Cox in the area. That ball is toward the central now. And now out to the wide for Yavapai Valle. They put one with a not too bad of a ball, but it was intercepted by Lustengarden in space. And now on the near side, Sikelski. Sikelski keeping it in. Fine hustle that time. And that ball intercepted. Nothing but white. And Yavapai Valle. The team with the stripes in this game.
Come on.
Continuing to try to keep things going. And intercepted nicely in the space there by Morgan, pushing it up. And now retreating back is his teammate Brett Dinner. And it goes all the way back to Dufek, and Dufek pushing it out towards that strong side. However, not much of a shot was gotten by Yavapai Valle.
Play it this side where there is nobody.
And now bringing it up from their own half of the field, leading 1-0 is the Blackhawks. Christian Cox now, and That was a mistake by Yavapai Valle. Sikelski, and he tried to get to it and try to push it in the back of the net, but the keeper for Yavapai Valle able to get to it first. However, he drives it out of play, and Lustengarden will throw it in. Lustengarden gets it in. Kelski, Lustengarden, nice service over towards the box, and saved by the keeper. Reducing the size of the field, Lustengarden and company, and continue on. Let's see what we got here. Might have been an offsides call. And it was. Keeper getting it started quickly. Going to be a throw-in. Cox now. Sikelski in the area. Cox trying to get the challenge there. He couldn't get it. And now Cox showing his speed. He wins the soccer ball now. Cox, a nice ball played to Sikelski. Going to give it a go. Finding a teammate in the deep part of the box. And that was Evan Armstrong. Sikelski now. And Sikelski drives it past the goal line. And Yavapai Valle here in the first half as it winds down. Not a lot of time left in the first half. And it'll be a goal kick. 1-0 your score. Scottsdale Blackhawks from Arizona and Yavapai Valle from Arizona here in the Sereno Pro Classic. Boys under 18 category, and this winds up to the keeper for Yavapai. And he takes a couple steps and right foot drives it down to central. Off of a bounce. And they make a nice play there as they head toward the attacking third. However, retreating back nicely was Brett Dinner. And he gets it out of play before they can do anything else with it. So now they get a chance, the Blackhawks get a chance to set themselves up in their own defensive third. Try to defend any kind of offensive play, attack, maneuvers, what have you, by Yavapai Valle. They're in the corner now. Got a couple players putting a kind of a pincher effect in it, Larkin and company. And now, with it is Yavapai Valle as they run it back out toward the top. And now in the midfield, only one or two players in deep back or in their side of the field as they want to keep their offensive attack going. Yavapai Valle, there's a nice ball, but intercepted at the top of the 18-yard box. Here's Cox, and he can't strike it. Taken away, Yavapai Valle, they have a player. He's got a step, and he tries to get that second step, but Lustengarden was there to not allow him to get that second step. Nice play, because if he gets that second step, he's going to take a pretty good shot at the near post. They throw it in now to number 4, and it's taken away nicely. Sikelski, and Sikelski drives it down the field and trying to get a quick counterattack going there, but his runner just couldn't quite get to it. And they in the deep back for Yavapai Valle, they have it, and they're trying to get it upfield, but Sikelski is tripped into space, and they're going to get a free kick. Free kick for the Scottsdale Blackhawks, 91. And this is Joel Lustengarden. And Lustengarden, we'll see if he can get a nice strike in that box. He bends it, trying to get somebody to win it. And they cannot. They get one touch on it, and it's taken away. However, they stand tall at the top of the midfield area. And now a whistle. And it's going to be a free kick. Somebody a little bit too ambitious on that play. So it is going to be, from a physical standpoint, it's going to be a free kick for Yavapai Valle, and they drive it down the field toward that attacking third. Couldn't have anybody win it there. However, back upfield, they have it momentarily, but they give it away. And nice challenge that time at midfield. That was a big challenge for Yavapai Valle. If they don't make that play, big chance for the Blackhawks to try and make it 2-0. After the throw-in now. In their own half of the field, here's Garden. Collects it. And his pass is up to midfield, and now they get it out to the Y. And that is Sikelski. Sikelski, nice service across the mouth of the 18-yard box, but nobody was there. Here's Garden. Garden now finds somebody in space with time, and that is, of course, Tilton. Tilton now looking for Sikelski in the box, and he's bumped there. Is there going to be a call? Sikelski pointing over to the linesman, but he's not going to get that call. So it's going to now be a goal kick. 1-0. Scottsdale Blackhawks lead Ben Tobin's club. They got the 1-0 lead here in the first half. Cox now trying to get to it. He couldn't do it. His teammate was trying to chase it down. Crawley, he couldn't get to it, but now they do have it. And they're going to push it out to the wide to Tebbis. Tebbis now, and he was trying to get an interior pass that was knocked past the goal line by Yavapai Valle. And it is going to be, or actually it was knocked out by the Blackhawks, so it'll be a goal kick for Yavapai Valle. And they push it up to the central, and going to be an offsides call. So a free kick now for Yavapai Valle. They're running out of time in the first half. They're down by 1 goal, though, only. Although they have been dominated with the touches here in the first half. But it's still a manageable game for them at this point. Garden now over to Tilton. And a quick strike there by Armstrong. Armstrong, Tilton in the area, getting it over to Miller. And it goes, he couldn't control it, goes out of play in a far side touchline. It'll be a throw-in for Yavapai Valle. As they look for a runner on that far side. They have one. They bend it, curl it back. Nice job. Number 10, a strike, intercepted. And sent back up to midfield. They have a couple players there. They settle it, trying to pass it to a teammate, and they get one. They get now 2. And then dispossessed now. And now they have to retreat back, Yavapai Valle. And they have to retreat back in their own half of the field. And again, as I mentioned earlier about they seem to possess the ball and seem to be able to try and get something going from time to time. But it doesn't last for very long, and they give it away to the Blackhawks, and the Blackhawks continue, and especially now, having the lead, they continue to eat up the clock by their touches, and they continue to also strike balls pretty well in the attacking area, and even though they haven't been able to connect like they'd like to, they're presenting problems, and a lot of times the Yavapai Valle are getting caught on quick counterattacks, and that's not helpful for them either. And it could prove detrimental to them as this game continues. Kyle Tebbis throw in for Yavapai Valle now. And let's see what the call is going to be. It's actually going to be a free kick. Oh no, it's going to be a throw-in. Throw-in, just wanted to move it up the spot of the throw-in. Tilton. And dispossessed there, and actually a foul. And so it's going to be a free kick now. Yavapai Valle getting more real estate there at midfield now. Down 1-0 in this contest. And driving it toward the attacking area, and here they come inside the box. Just on the wide side now, trying to get somebody that they can thread it to, and they've got a player top of the box, and they want to go. And it seems like every time when they want to try to push it out even further, they make it tougher for themselves. And here they go now. They've been dispossessed, and the counterattack will ensue. Here's Fallon now. Fallon on the run on the far side of your picture. He's got a teammate over there, and that's Daniel Miller. And Miller will throw it in. Miller now has players on the far side trying to weave their way. And now with the touch is Tevis. And they knock it out of play, does Yavapai Valle. But, again, they move up even closer and closer. Here's a substitution. And that's coming in for the Blackhawks. And that's Tyler McClendon. And you know how instrumental he was in the first half, early on. Very instrumental in getting them started and setting the tone and the pace of this game. Yavapai Valle, now they throw it in. Can't possess it, so they give it away there. It's going to be Graham Crawley. Here's a strike toward the 18-yard box. Nobody there except for the keeper for Yavapai Valle. And he'll collect it and drive it down to Central. Retreating back the Blackhawks. They have time and space to get their pass upfield. And on the near side, you see falling down Tevis. But he kept the ball going further. But now it's going to be a throw-in for Yavapai Valle. But they give it away again. And it's over to Tilton. This pass intercepted. Tilton chasing it down. A little ambitious on that play, but no call. Over to McClendon. McClendon, he being ambitious for it also. And he'll give it away, though, as he knocked it out of play in the far side touchline. And it'll be a throw-in. Throw-in for Yavapai Valle at about midfield. They have the free kick. Moving more deeper into the half of field of the Blackhawks from Scottsdale, Arizona. Let's see what they do with this free kick. A set piece all the way down, but they do not get a good coordinated play off of that one. And anytime you have this soccer ball and you're in the other team's half of the field and you do not get a player to touch it and you just give it away to a goal kick, that is not good soccer. And especially in this age group, you really have to do a lot more with the soccer ball than that. And Yavapai Valle is setting themselves up in this contest with plays like that. To the wide now as Sean Fallon. And it's going to be an offsides call. Free kick now for Yavapai Valle. And to go along with that last thought, you nullify your opportunities to try and get back into the game or try to win the game when you don't take advantage of set pieces, at least get some touches on it. And those are the types of things that coaches just, you get gray hairs over. Down, trying to run down to Central and try to do something with his McClendon. He was pushed outside of that, and now they drive it outside of their own Central as Yavapai Valle wanting to stiffen up down at Central, and it'll be a throw-in. Looks like it's going to be Lustengarden doing the throwing. 1-0 still your score. You get a good look at some of the players on the Scottsdale Blackhawks team. Watching the action and happy so far. Brett Dinner trying to do something with it. Too ambitious on the action there. So gives up a foul and a free kick it down, but intercepted and back. The Blackhawks have it again. Tevis now. He tries to work a play, throw it down the Central, but it was a collision. A little bit of good sportsmanship there, as you saw both players just understanding that they fell over each other and trying to get to that soccer ball. No harm, no foul. Down to Central now. Here's Fallon. Fallon has beat a couple players. Fallon 1v1 with a keeper. And a goal! Go, 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 go! Nice play that time by Fallon. Sean Fallon coming down to Central and beating defenders and getting a strong enough shot. It was deflected past the keeper, and it is 2-0 now. So 2-0 as Fallon and Christian Cox scoring the goals here in the first half. And there's just got to be moments left here in the first half. Not a lot of time for Yavapai Valle to try to cut it in half, as they are down 2-0 here. And they are trying to do something here and just outside the 18-yard box. But again, showing their strength of position, showing their resolve, the Blackhawks. And that's a double whistle. That is the end of the first half. And you just heard it. The resolve and the strength of position all over the field. And that's basically what it's been.
Good boys, alright, a lot better than this afternoon. Let's make sure that we're talking early with the first ball on the clock. Alright? One of the biggest things when we've got the ball, the play starts from the back. Alright, so and we were playing from there. So the first 15 minutes. And then after that we stopped doing it. Alright, we started doing the middle, we started knocking on the ball. Any questions about that? You play so much better when you play 1-2 touch. You play quickly through the field. Alright? Don't get me wrong, that it works, but it doesn't work every time, alright? So play into the channels, get into the gaps early, but let's play some soccer in the middle of the field, alright? Switch the field, switch the play, do it early, get the midfielders working. Everybody should be touching the ball, alright?
All right, the second half about ready to get underway. The keeper is Sean Charman, and the goals in the first half were by Sean Fallon and by Christian Cox. Sean Fallon scored the second goal on a beautiful play, and Christian Cox on a beautiful ball that was placed in front of him. He scored the first goal of the game. And, of course, both teams switching directions that they are going here in the second half. Of course, the Scottsdale Blackhawks are going from right to left, and the Yavapai Valle going from left to right. And now trying to make something happen was Fallon, and it's going to be a foul in the space there, and it'll be a free kick for Yavapai Valle. 2-0 ball game. That ball pushed out of play as Yavapai Valle in the first half just could not seem to get any good coordinated plays enough to really put any pressure. And if they did, it was very fleeting for Yavapai Valle. And the Blackhawks just picked and chose their opportunities, and when they had them, they finished on them. Free kick. Now let's see who's going to take it. Maybe it'll be Lustengarden. No, it's not going to be. It's going to be his teammate there. Couldn't see his number as he drives it toward the wall of the defenders, and they're able to keep it from going inside that 18-yard box on the near side. Tyler McClendon driving it down. Nobody there. Ball off of a bounce. Christian Cox. on the near side. Cox looking for McClendon, and he had too much pace on it. That ball was driven way too hard for McClendon, who was just really standing real close to him. Here's McClendon now. He gets a good throw all the way down to Fallon. Fallon now, and a beautiful play. As you saw the last moment as the defender for Yavapai, Valle, getting into the play and able to stop Fallon from a big opportunity after a beautiful throw-in by McClendon. He really got some distance on that throw-in, and it was perfect ball placed. You really thought, watching it, that it looked like he was going to score. But the defender came for Yavapai Valle all the way across the field and made a wonderful defensive play. Otherwise, it would be 3-0. Yavapai Valle now. They got to make more plays like that, and they need to do some of them on the offensive end. Here's McClendon now. McClendon on a nice ball placed to him by Christian Cox. McClendon losing his footing there. McClendon still staying after it. McClendon looking for his teammate that time in the space Miller, but he didn't get it. However, now pushing up is Kyle Morgan. Morgan, beautiful ball across the 18-yard box. But can he get a teammate to run onto it? Trying to stay onto it there is Tebbis, and Tebbis has it. He drops it back. Got a teammate to get it up in the air off of a bounce, and McClendon had a chance, and he just couldn't strike it. He just missed it. It would have been surely 3-0 that time. He just missed it. It was a beautiful ball in a 6-yard box, but McClendon a little bit too tardy on it that time, and he whiffed the opportunity for 3-0. No chance for the keeper to save that one.
Wide, boys, wide. Well done, Raf.
And it'll be a free kick.
Wide from the middle, boys. Wide from the middle.
And it's plays like that Yavapai Valle are not getting. And that is the reason why they're going to have a tough time, even though they're only down 2-0, to come back and try and win this soccer game. They are just really having a hard time getting good quality plays. They just don't hold the ball long enough. And the Blackhawks 91 Scottsdale, Arizona team is taking advantage of it. Ball in to Christian Cox. Cox drives it right at the keeper. He's able to make the save.
Shape, drop in, get your shape. Quickly midfield. Big win, Kayvon, head up. Free head.
And a deflection there by Miller into the central. By A, trying to hold on to it, they do. And they got a runner to the far side. They get by Cox. Lustengarten comes over there and provides a little bit of a opportunity to kind of keep their progress from continuing on, halting the progress, if it were. That ball is knocked out of play, and a lot of halting of progress for Yavapai Valle has been done by the black and white of Scottsdale Blackhawks 91. And they just hold on to the ball a lot more. Better quality chances in this contest. Daniel Miller trying to weave to the interior, but his pass intercepted. Yavapai Valle, they have it at midfield. There's Cox in the area. And they dispossess him at midfield now. And here the Blackhawks 91 with McClendon on the near post. And he couldn't quite get it in, bend it in that time as his momentum going one direction. And he tried to cut the ball and get it either onto a runner or get it maybe just over the keeper's hand into the back of the net. But that neither of the two were going to happen. So it's a 6-yard box strike for one of the players in the deep back for Yavapai Valle off this last try by the Scottsdale Blackhawks 91. In the central, Yavapai Valle now pushing up. They've got it at the center circle, and they're passed out to the wide, trying to get somebody to run onto it. Went errant because they were offsides. Those are plays that Yavapai Valle cannot have. They just can't have those types of plays being down 2-0. And in the way this game has gone. And you get a chance there to see Sean Sharman driving it down to midfield. And, of course, then the keeper for Yavapai Valle has to hold on to it and drive it upfield. Christian Cox. Cox off the challenge, and it will be a foul on Christian Cox. He one of the 2 goals scored. And in your picture there, you see the other guy, and that's Sean Fallon. In the space there, a touch by Patrick Larkin. They work it out to the wide, and now looking for a long ball, somebody to run onto it. Of course, that would be Fallon, but he being the closest to it, that ball had way too much pace on it, and it goes out of play. So we have a throw-in from the deep back. 2-0 your score. Scottsdale Blackhawks, 91. Here is Christian Cox. Cox, a nice ball to his teammate, and at the last moment they dispossess him. Oh, big play in the 6-yard box. But still with it are the Blackhawks. And out to the wide, and now they're going to be offsides. That was a beautiful ball placed toward that 6-yard box to Tyler McClendon, but it took a very, very good play defensively, and there's been a couple of those here in the second half that has kept this from being a 3 or maybe a 4-0 game. Bringing it down now, the Scottsdale Blackhawks. They have it. The pass down to Central is defended and pushed out to the wide of the defenders. A nice heel pass. They had a beautiful heel pass in the first half that almost resulted in a goal, and it was, again, you talk about the defenders of the deep back making an unbelievable play. That time it was the Blackhawks that had made that unbelievable play to stop and thwart the opportunity for a goal on the board for Yavapai Valle. They have it now at midfield. They drive it around Christian Cox. They have a player there in the central. Can he hold on to it? No, he can't. Dispossessed and driven down for a counterattack with Fallon. Fallon makes a beautiful move in the interior, but then can't make the second one as the defender is there and drives it out of play. Out of that box. Still in the field of play, but out of that box. Fallon now has a teammate, strikes it, and he just missed the far post. Nice pass that time by Fallon, and he found his teammate, and he just missed putting it in the back of the net for that third goal. There have been a few tries for that already for the Blackhawks 91 team here in the second half, and they just haven't been able to put it in the back of the net. Yavapai Valle fortunate so far, and still a game that they possibly could come back and win, but they've got to do a lot of different things that they've been doing so far in this game in order to do that. Here is Cox. Cox down to Central. His teammate there, Casey Rice, trying for another play and another strike on it, and he didn't get it. It's over to Morgan now. Morgan in the deep back. Kyle Morgan over to Daniel Miller. Miller on the near side. His drive for the counterattack. He's looking for Casey Rice. Rice can't get another strike on it as he's driven back up to midfield. However, coming over there to it was McClendon. And now here's Cox. Cox back to McClendon. McClendon, he of the orange cleats, gets it over to Rice. Rice now to near side. Going to stop the pace of the ball. Does that nicely. Over to Cox. Cox driving it to the wide side. Can't get a runner onto it as it goes way past any teammate there. Sean Fallon about the closest. but he was a good 7 or 8 yards away from it. And now they get it restarted again. Yavapai Valle down 2-0 here in the Sereno Pro Classic. And now they get it going again, the Blackhawks. 91, trying to get somebody to possess it down at Central. Fallon, with his attempted strike at it, it was taken away. But however, the pass by Yavapai Valle to a teammate in the Central is intercepted now. Here's the Blackhawks now. Down the Central of the 6-yard box. But just getting back there, the defender, and the defenders of the deep back able to protect that time. Again, as another try by the Blackhawks. Down that box goes awry here in the second half. They've had some pretty good quality chances at that. And doing all they can to save their game is Yavapai Valle. But here is Tyler McClendon. McClendon now. He gets it to his teammate Fallon, and Fallon will score! They have a double team on the defenders, and it was Fallon and McClendon on a counterattack, and there was no answer to stop those two. And getting the score is Fallon, his second goal of the game, and it is 3-0. Beautiful play, McClendon and Fallon. They work a double team on the defenders, and they say, you're not stopping us this time, and that's exactly what happened. And Yavapai Valle now down 3-0. Finally, the attackers for the Blackhawks 91 getting that illustrious goal that they've been wanting to get here in the second half. And now in their deep third, pushing it up. Cox can't get to it in the space. He's still in the space. Nearly, he deflected it, and it goes quickly over to Casey Rice. Rice's teammates now, and it goes back up to Cox. And the Blackhawks 91 thoroughly dominating this contest. Fallon, oh, here's a nice pass, and it just doesn't quite. It was just too much pace on it that time for Kyle Tevis. And Tevis, if he runs onto that ball, he will have a great chance of putting it in the back of the net. Now here's an intercept. Here's McClendon. McClendon in the 18-yard box and a save by the keeper. And that was on the low side, and the keeper, just almost like a hockey goalie, had that low side protected. But McClendon, a nice intercept. And again, buzzing around in the defensive half are the white and black with no stripes on their front of their jerseys like the opposing team, dominating this contest 3-0. 2 goals in the contest by Sean Fallon and 1 by Christian Cox. With Fallon's goal here in the second half being the lone goal scored by either team. On it now is McClendon, or rather that's Daniel Miller. And he gets it over to Cox, but his pass intercepted. But here is Tilton, Christopher Tilton at midfield. Tilton has plenty of time and space. He wants to switch it. He switches it over to Daniel Miller. Looking for McClendon, and McClendon's pass doesn't get there. And it is knocked away by the defender for Yavapai Valle in a space. And now here's some substitutions. 4 players coming in, and Ben Tobin is saying, I'm going to give the other guys an opportunity to play in this game because this one is ours. 3-0, they get a rounding sound of applause on their way out. Couldn't quite get all the numbers that came in, but we will mention them as they touch that soccer ball, as they look at the player for Yavapai Valle. And he may not finish this game because he doesn't want to put any pressure on that left leg there. And that does not look good. As they're going to take a look at him on the near side here, and he hopefully may be able to come back into the game. On it now is Crawley. Crawley pushes it out to the wide at Larkin. Larkin pushing it forward. Intercepted. Larkin still out there in the space, and he has it now. Dispossessed momentarily. But running onto it is his teammate Cotty. Brandon Cotty now. Cotty into the contest. And taken away. Down to Central as Cotty retreats back. And they reduce the size of the field way up on top of the 18-yard box. Here's a nice run by Sikelski. Mark Sikelski dipping into the interior towards that 18-yard box and dispossess that time. However, they will either have a corner kick or a throw-in. It looks like it's going to be a CK. 3-0. Very comfortable are the white and black of the Scottsdale Blackhawks 91. As they just have had to measure satisfaction in this game from all facets. Playing good defense when they've needed to. Playing strong offensive attack when they need to. A bending ball not going to make it out enough to get inside that near a post, and it is going to be a goal kick. 3-0. As Yavapai Valle working it out of their own half of the field, trying to see what they can do. Yeah, that ball toward the attacking third, and Sikelski driving it way over the net. Not going to be able to do anything with that ball, or at least his teammates won't be able to. A substitution, Daniel Miller coming into the contest. It's Ben Tobin moving players around. And now the goal kick. Intercepted by Daniel Miller. Whistle, and they are going to have a substitution for Yavapai Valle as they get a fresh player in. Goal kick. Up the field. Intercepted by Sikelski. And he's dispossessed there now. Yavapai Valle in their own half of the field, trying to collect and do something with it on a counterattack. And here they go to midfield. As on the near side, it goes out of play. And who's it last off of? Last off of the Blackhawks. So throwing for Yavapai Valle. They throw it in, trying to get it toward the attacking third. And really, so far here in the second half, Yavapai Valle hasn't even touched the ball as much as they did in the first half at the juncture of the game starting. So really, the things that they've had to have talked about at halftime, they really haven't been able to carry them out here in the second half. Daniel Miller. Still plenty of time, but you got to begin to work on some of those things. And I still see the Blackhawks 91 touching the soccer ball and holding and possessing. And each second that they do, it eats up time off the clock. The precious time that Yavapai Valle needs. Cotty now. Cotty and his pass intercepted now. Yavapai Valle, that ball going out of play. And it'll be a throw-in. Throw-in by Cotty. Cotty on the near side. He was looking for Daniel Miller. Ball had too much pace on it, but retreating back and just wanting to reset up is Yavapai Valle. And so now coming over to throw it in is Patrick Larkin. Larkin now getting it in the defensive third for Yavapai Valle, and he strikes it towards the center of the box. And he tried to get Sikelski to run onto it, but it goes over to Yavapai Valle. Too much pace on it that time. Now in the central, trying to get to it as the Blackhawks. They do. They settle it down. And now they get going with their counterattack. However, intercepted into space by Yavapai Valle, and they go back the other way now. As they're in the attacking third, here's a strike. And they don't get a good quality play off of that one. However, it might have been deflected, and it was. So it was deflected off the Blackhawks, and they do get a corner kick. I believe this is only the second corner kick for Yavapai Valle in an entire match. And the bended ball is out, swung and intercepted. They're trying to get another touch onto it in the defensive half of the field for the Blackhawks. And they do, but then it's knocked out. And it was off of Yavapai Valle, and so the Blackhawks 91 are going to get to throw it in. Christopher Tilton is coming into the contest. He's going to come in a 3-0 game. And the Blackhawks 91 will throw it in. Leading by three big ones on a scoreboard here in the Sereno Pro Classic. The throw in from their own half of the field. Blackhawks can't win it enough. They give it away to Yavapai Valle as they throw it in. Yavapai Valle, but they give it back again to the Blackhawks. And on the run is Evan Armstrong. Armstrong in the box. His service, and it turned out to be a shot on the back post, and he tried to score. He just missed it on the high side, high and wide of that back post. And so now it'll be a goal kick again, 3-0. Yavapai Valle. Again, seeing another good ball and another quality chance to score on them happen in these last moments here. They need all of that to happen on their side, but they can't seem to get it. Yavapai Valle in the central. They try to possess it, can't do it long enough, and they give way to midfielders are just too strong for the Scottsdale Blackhawks. And a long chance that time by Brandon Cotty, and no problem for the keeper for Yavapai Valle. And he'll drive it down to central, looking for somebody to run onto it. Can't do it. And that ball is routed over to Sharman. And he gets it to his teammates. However, they intercept, and they take a shot at the top of the post, and another try, and another save by Sharman. Beautiful play by Sharman. He makes one great save, and he had some help by the post. Yavapai Valle still can't seem to get any luck, can't seem to get the ball in the back of the net. And after that deflection, you thought they were going to score. They did not. Ball knocked out, and we got a yellow card. And a yellow card looks like it's going against the keeper. And that's not a good thing. Let's see, I could be wrong. We'll see what the center ref decides to do here.
Can I go on? I think that was like settle down Kyle. I'm not gonna let another guy.
Beautiful play though by Sharman. Sean Sharman keeping this game in a favor of his ball club in a way of a shutout. The in swinger toward the 6-yard box, and that ball, he had an offsides call on that one, and it's going to either an offsides or a foul. Looked like it was an offsides, and so now it is going to be a free kick. In the central now, and having pretty good chances here, and they couldn't get the other striker down the 6-yard box to get to it, as getting over there was Patrick Larkin. They again had another opportunity to try and see on this. Basically, a lot of the guys that were not playing in the first half in this contest, but they're still not able to put the ball in the back of the net. Get a good look at the head coach with the Blackhawks, and a little smile on his face. Yavapai Valle, it's just not working out for him in this contest, no matter who is put in the ball game. Armstrong that time. Trying to get it out to the wide, and now you have it. Evan Armstrong. Yavapai Valle trying to make a play and attacking third. Here they come again in the box. They go across the width of the box. They've got a player want to try the other side of the field, but they cannot seem to hold on to it long enough. And again, another opportunity is thwarted. 3-0 your score. Going to be a throw-in now. Yavapai Valle into the space there. Being guarded closely. And they will have an opportunity to throw for a free kick as a foul is called. Free kick. Let's see what they do. Trying to get one in the back of the net. For the first time in this contest. Haven't been able to do it. They bend it, and it doesn't connect to anybody with a quality chance. And it will be a goal kick again. Sharman. Sean tees it up on the corner of the 6-yard box. Not in a hurry. Takes a few bounces, retreats back, takes all the allotted time, and that's all you have to do to put this one away. Don't have to be in a hurry. If you're the Blackhawks 91, all you got to do is possess the ball. Try to keep the quality chances at bay for the Yavapai Valle Ball Club. In the central, winning it and pushing it over there to Christopher Tilton. Intercepted, and they drive it out of play, but every time they do it, it works against them. The Yavapai Valle Ball Club, it just flat works against them. They need time. They need to be able to do some things, and that time is running out. Blackhawks, 91. Pass to the near side. They have Daniel Miller. Miller sidesteps one man, loses him. And then in the box, gets a teammate to try and get a strike on it. And he just missed putting it in the back of the net, and that time it was Evan Armstrong. 3-0. Armstrong almost scored. Here is a 6-yard box drive from the keeper upfield. And won by Crowley. Crowley showing he can play strong out there in the field of play. He's got his teammate Cotty now trying to do the same. And you got a foul. And they will get a free kick, leading 3-0 here in the Sereno Pro Classic.
Evan, what are you doing?
Taking it is going to be Graham Crawley. Service in the box, and a save by the keeper. He comes off his line and sprawls out to get that one. Up the central now. Off the foot of Patrick Larkin. Intercepted to the Yavapai Valle Club. However, they can't seem to get a runner onto it. And they're going to give way. Just when they had that ball carry them over into the defensive third, or the defensive third of the Blackhawks. They can't get a striker to possess it, bring it back. A lot of the types of things that Blackhawks 91 were doing, start of the game, possessing the ball, soccer ball, drawing it back, looking for players at the midfield to find somebody open in space. They can't seem to do that. And it has been to their undoing in this contest. Blackhawks 91 on a counterattack toward the 18-yard box. Still on it, and a beautiful ball, but not beautiful enough as it didn't quite get to one of their teammates. That time the idea was great by Christopher Tilton. And he had a pretty good quality ball, but not good enough that time and the way his teammates were positioned to get to the soccer ball. But doesn't matter when you lead 3-0. You're just eating up time off the clock. Obviously, you have the mindset you'd like to put another one in, but at the same time, you know that if a play doesn't work, it doesn't matter because you're eating time off the clock. And in a 3-0 score in soccer, that is a huge score to try to come back from. And if you're Yavapai, Valle, you need every second you can get. And as you can see them trying to run down the ball now, that is just not happening in this game. And more importantly, some of the changes and adjustments they've tried to make in this game haven't been effective. And so basically, they are really in peril of having any chance of coming back. And that ball knocked out, retreating back by Yoel Lustengarden. Throw in. Just playing out this game is the Blackhawks 91. The whistle and a free kick. What will they do with this free kick? They have had times when they have got no striker onto the ball on free kicks, and you cannot do that. Not at this level, and think that you're going to have a chance to win. And the ball back to the 18-yard, back to midfield, and now striking it with his left foot that time is Evan Armstrong. Armstrong's got a runner down to central, and they work it back out to the wide, and a shot on the goal! Goal, 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 goal! Mark Sikelski, and he is jazzed up because he has wanted to score since early in the first half, and he finally gets that score. So 4-0. Beautiful passing that time. Sikelski, the benefactor, and the finish. And that's going to do it. That is the end of the match as both teams congratulate each other for the effort that they've displayed in this contest, but clearly this one was in favor of the Scottsdale Blackhawks 91 team over the Yavapai Valle, Arizona team. And here in the Sereno Pro Classic, we hope you enjoyed all the action. And take care of yourself. God bless, and we will see you next time.
I'm Tim Dufek. I'm here with a few of my players. This is Christian Cox. Christian,
Total player.
Good performance today. Where do you go to school?
Mountain Ridge High School, Tim.
Mountain Ridge High School.
Yeah.
And how many years have you been on Blackhawks?
Just a couple of months, Tim.
Couple of months. First season on the team.
Yes, sir.
Great to have you out here.
Here's your voice.
Already
always
got a
that
lot of
deep.
goals.
Pat Larkin. Great performance today. I think he played all 70 minutes.
Nope.
Now, how many years have you been on the team?
11 with me.
No, not 11.
Yeah. Oh, well, 10 then, because I've been on it for 11.
About 6 years.
About six years on the team. Six years on the team. Great 6 years.
Thank you.
And where do you go to school, Pat?
I go to Brophy.
Brophy. That's good to hear. This is Evan Armstrong, another one of our lifelong players. Evan, how many years have you been on the team?
11.
11 solid years.
No, this will be my 11th.
This will be his 11th year. And where do you go to school, Evan?
Desert Mountain High School.
Desert Mountain High School. You play any other sports?
No, just soccer. I'm really
Just
committed
soccer?
to this
What are you
thing.
about?
Just soccer.
Just soccer, Pat? Anything?
A little track.
A little bit of track and field. Good to hear.
what?
Good to hear. This is Kyle Morgan here. He is the captain of the Blackhawks. Kyle, how long have you been here?
I've been here for a year and a half now.
Year and a half?
Yeah.
Year and a half.
Yeah.
That was a good performance out there.
Thank you,
You
thank you,
put
thank
it
you.
in. Do you play any other sports?
No, straight up soccer.
Straight up soccer.
my life.
You heard it here. And where do you go to school?
I go to Horizon.
Horizon High School. Good to hear. Great to have you out here.
Thanks, Tim.
This is Mark. Mark,
Yes.
how long have you been with the club?
Well, this is my first year here.
This is your first
so-
year? Where were you before this?
Chelsea United.
Chelsea United.
Yep.
Good to
Monday
hear.
also.
Great performance out there. Do you play any other sports, Mark?
No, it's just soccer.
Just soccer?
Straight up.
Yeah? It's good to hear. Good to
Scored
have
my
you
first
here.
goal, so it's
Scored
good.
your first goal. We saw it out there,
Yeah.
right in there. Graham Crawley, how's it going?
I'm doing very good.
That was a good performance. You were tall.
Thank
you
you.
were tall.
I know that.
Now tell me.
Plays into my game.
Tell me. How'd you feel about your performance today?
I felt a little stiff, but I
stiff?
felt that I made.
Didn't look like it from the bench, I'll tell you that.
Okay. I did my best.
How many years have you been with the club?
Well, I played for 5 years, and then I took a year break and went to Sereno,
It's an
and
interview. We're on camera.
now I brought it back up again.
Brought it back
this
up
year.
again.
So yeah,
Do you play any other sports?
I play a little bit of golf here and there.
Yeah. What school do you go to?
I go to Chaparral High School.
Chaparral High
yes.
School. Good to hear.
Firebirds. Yes.
Firebirds. All right. Hey, Chris Tilton joining us from the back. Chris, tell me a little something about yourself and your performance today.
Where to start?
I'm out.
Well, born and raised in sunny Scottsdale, Arizona. However, had a 1-year hiatus in Hawaii. Don't ask me about that. Don't remember it. Played all right today. Could have been better. Could have been worse though. So
Where are you looking at college, Chris?
I don't feel free to discuss that with the media.
Oh my God. Now, Chris, what school do you go to?
Desert Mountain High School.
And how many years have you been with ASUSC?
I don't even know.
You don't even know.
Like 7.
I'd
maybe.
say 7. 7.
Is it-
Good.
7's a good number.
7 solid years. Good job, guys. This is Sean Sharman. He's the other goalkeeper. He played the second half. Sean, good performance. How'd you feel?
I felt okay.
Felt okay?
Thought I could have done a little better.
Not too many chances your way, none my way either.
my
So,
way.
where do you go to school, Sean?
For Chaparral High School.
Chaparral High School, yeah.
Yep.
And how many years have you been with Blackhawks?
2 years.
2 years. 2 years.
2 great years.
A solid 2 years from Sean Sharman. Once again, Tim Dufek. Good job.